This is Fat Kings Friday for September 5th. I'm Phil Olson.
I'm Tyrone.
Tyrone, you shaved your head. It looks good.
I know.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We have so much time. Wait, no, that's right. We got swiped yesterday. FQ. Wait is it? SQS.
SQS.
Yeah.
That's
So.
right. It was a swap. So it was a good show. I was like,
good.
what the fuck? They pulled the Fat Kings, and I'm sitting there going, fucking hell, start the show. It's like 30 minutes into it. And then Tanya, or I think Pete, somebody finally goes, oh, no, it's over here. Sarah originally posted, Sarah posted the wrong link originally.
Nice. Well, at least we know we're not the only ones. I feel better already.
So, yeah, now they changed it. So now you used to just go in and you'd broadcast, right? And now it goes to like this fucking event page and this all kinds of other stuff. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if you're watching this on the Google Events page, then we're not seeing your questions. So go to the YouTube link.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't know. I always got to screw around with something just when we get it figured out. It makes me want to go on hiatus for a certain amount of time.
So that's what we're going to do. We're getting the fuck out of here, right? So we're going to...
You know what?
We're going to
Girls are taking over the midweek, so forget it. There's no point in doing it anymore.
We don't even need to do a show anymore.
We're just going to drink on Thursday nights together and just hang out. So that's it. But no, we're going to probably delay... We're going to be like the fall season. We're going to come back in the fall season because TJ's got surgery and things going on. I got personal things going on, as you guys well know, from my last post. And then, yeah, that's just how it's going to be. So I think we'll come back actually for a special show because we talked to some of the Aussies about highlighting these Wonder Sleeves Down Under the day of because our Thursday is their Friday and their Friday is the day they're doing the thing. So we'll probably be having them back on. So it'll be like Fat Kings Friday Aussie round 2. It'll be awesome. So we're just gonna line them up.
And that day will actually be my birthday.
And you will be in a special place, a special location.
I will be in New Orleans. I'll be in Nolans.
So even better. That'd be so we'll get a little Tanya action. I can't imagine Tanya being on the show again, but I mean, I guess maybe it could happen.
I know. Well, I don't know. She almost unfriended me after the last show that we did.
Oh, really?
The show before the last. Whenever I talked about that the vets should take off and...
Oh, come on.
Plastic surgery being... Oh, she didn't talk to me for days.
Oh, she thought you were serious? She took you seriously?
Yeah, she did. She was mad.
Mistake number one.
Yeah. And then
seriously.
I tried to get John to come on the show, do a +1 show. No.
You wouldn't let her? She wouldn't let him, I mean?
No, he wouldn't come on.
Oh, well, you know.
It was funny. I thought he said he had made a post right afterwards. He says, "Oh, I'm done folding 800 loads of laundry or something." I said, "You should have been at the show. It pissed Tanya off." He said, "I'm Switzerland."
Ah, I'm Switzerland. Smart answer, sir. Smart answer. So yeah. So how has your week been, sir? What's been going on?
You know, at some point in the week, it was a good week.
I've heard that. I heard that rumor actually.
Yeah, it was. It was going good, and I remember I told Penny because I was gonna go buy some more fishing shit, right? Because I'm getting into this fishing stuff, and everything was just going right. Like we were hitting all the lights right whenever we had to. We had to kind of go a back route because we decided to go to this place called Red Elephant and have some lunch, and we came around and I'm like, oh, we'll never get through because Tampa traffic fucking sucks. But no, pulled up to the intersection, clear both ways. Drove right in. The parking lot was packed, right? And we were going to Dick's and come around the corner, packed parking lot, and pulled up one fucking spot right there. I just pulled right into it, and I was like,
this is the part where I would start getting nervous.
And I did.
My day's about to go to shit.
I said, man, this is not, things are going a little too smooth. And then next thing you know, so then we have 2 tornado warnings. We were sitting in the bathroom. You're not on Facebook, so you missed all that. But so yeah, we had 2 tornado warnings come through. I dropped my phone whenever I was fishing and I ran it over. So that was good. I don't know what else. It was just one of those fucking weeks, but it started out where everything was going smooth.
Never a dull moment.
So what's going on with you? What's up with you?
Just hurry up and waiting to hear back on the doc stuff for Allison, and started off to be a good week, considering, I was back in the gym, things were going well, eating well, kind of back in my routine, and just this week has been the longest 4-day week of my life. Just things have just stopped. They just started falling apart quickly, and then went to the nut today, and my water was down a little bit, so I'm not sure I trust the readings I got, but the tears coming off the body fat percentage machine were not in my favor. So,
yeah.
But I'm suspicious because it says I lost 3 pounds of muscle and gained 2 pounds of fat, which I don't believe for a second. Not in that short of a time. I figured I had lost some muscle because I wasn't eating very well protein-wise, but there's just no way I'm still at the same exact weight and swapped that much weight around. So.
Well, I'll be able to tell you because I bought one of those. I don't have it down here; it's upstairs. But one of those machines, one of those things that you hold on to.
Yeah.
It tells your body fat percentage.
Sure.
So it told me I was 18%, but I'm gonna go do the bod pod, where you go into the capsule and they compress you and all that stuff and tell your body. So I'll be able to tell you how well those things work compared to.
Well, the other thing is to go dehydrate yourself. Go use the thing. And then use it, and then go dehydrate yourself and use it again and see what you get. Because she's like, no, your water's low, and don't worry about it, and blah blah blah. Let's just check it again next time. But I think she was just trying to be nice. So
could be.
I could be wrong.
So there was something that I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about on the show because everybody else is talking about it. Everybody else is posting about it, and I'm like, well, do we talk about what everybody's talking about? And I figured, yeah, let's go ahead. So let's talk about iPhones being announced next week.
I could care totally less about this, but go ahead.
iPhone 6 is getting, you thought it was something else, didn't you?
I had a pretty good idea that it was something else, but I was wrong.
So yeah, iPhone gets announced on 9/9.
Nice. Fantastical.
Which
I got a sweet deal on an iPhone 5S because of that, though. So.
Oh, so you back in the iPhone world?
Nope. My son had an iPhone and he did not want to switch away because he does all his apps and stuff. So I upgraded him the other day for like $80. It wasn't bad at all. So.
Oh yeah, for a 5S. I'm still running a 5 because I didn't want to use my upgrade for the 5S because it's just not enough of an upgrade. So I'll be using my upgrade for the 6. But I just had to pay fucking $100 for another phone because I ran the thing over. So it's awesome, right? So I pay $9 a month for my insurance on my phone, which racks up to $180 over the past year, and then you break or past 2 years, and then you break it, and then they charge you another $100 as your deductible. So really, is it really worth it? Like if you break it in the first 2 months, then yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it, but yeah, that's a good point. You buy a $600 phone, yeah, it's worth it if it breaks in the first couple months, but that's when you're the most careful with it. So
I know.
You're not throwing it on the desk and shit when you.
So I paid.
We'll put it down carefully.
I know. Oh, my first iPhone, I had it in fucking Penny. I was like, she's like, let me use your phone, and I'm like, no, this is my iPhone. Ooh, right? I'm not gonna hurt it. Well, we were at a friend's barbecue, and I was in the other room, and I heard, oh, shit! And I was like, fucking, I knew it. And I went, sure enough, she had dropped it on the fucking floor and broke it. I was like, motherfuck. And then I did the same thing with my first iPad. I had that first.
And the Motorola tablet, too, yeah.
Yeah, the Zoom. So when the Zoom first came out, it was, I think, the same day I bought it, I dropped it in the bathtub. And then I bought an iPad, and I went to set it down on the floor, and it like flipped, and it just caught the corner just right on the side of the tile, and it shattered the whole screen. Yeah. Brand fucking new. But Apple stood up, man, because I took it in, and they just said, oh, here you go. They just gave me a new one. And I was like, okay, I like you Apple guys.
Well, they did charge the extra $200 for a product that wasn't worth the extra $200. So tactically, they were doing you a favor.
Oh man, this thing has lasted me 4 years. I've never had a PC that last me fucking 4 years.
Yeah, my Asus has been that long, at least.
But your Asus took fucking 6 minutes to boot. I watched your Win Mojo.
That was but that was before I reloaded it.
Before I put the SSD in this, it took like 2 minutes.
I got a lot of apps. What can I say? I mean, it's a powerhouse. It can do a lot of stuff. So I have to.
Come on, motherfucker.
No, you can only do what Apple tells you. Come on.
No.
You're not fooling anybody.
You sound like me whenever I was arguing with Pat. It's so funny that I remember back to that. I was getting pissed. Like, I was yelling at that fucker whenever we were on our way back from the Kevin Smith.
Right.
I'm like, no. And he's like, all right. And then for whatever reason, I just went Apple fucking nuts. And now I'm totally brainwashed.
Yeah, it didn't take you. Once you flip the switch on anything, that's pretty much the end of it.
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
That's how I roll. What else we got going on? It's just one of those. It's just I wasn't even sure we were going to do the show today. We have no guests. We have nothing to talk about. But there's some questions.
Yeah.
So let's check chat first. I mean, somebody posted some pre-questions, but let's look. Let me see what we got here. We're already going to questions in the first 10 minutes. That doesn't make for a good show.
Don Marie wants to make it a drinking game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Every time TJ drinks, we take a drink.
I gotta just drink a lot. I'll just act like I'm drinking. So is everybody doing shots right now? And then so Tara's Mama VSG, I see her on there. She says that her and Tim are on. Tim, motherfucker, listen. You need to be measuring shit. You need to be measuring everything. I think Tim's the one that doesn't measure. And she said Tim needs to find out the right shit to measure.
Every man should know the size of his penis. You're absolutely right.
That's right, but that's not the measurement.
No,
we're talking about the food. You need to be measuring all your food. It's really important to measure all your food at first, just so you know. And I know in one of your early videos, Phil, you talked about it that you still have a tendency to eat fast right after surgery, right? Once you go back to eating. So if you just measure out 1 ounce, even if you eat too quickly, you're not gonna eat too much. You're not gonna overstuff yourself and end up in a bad spot. So you need to be measuring everything, especially at first.
That is true.
How's my shoulder doing? So shoulder's doing good. Look at that. Bam. I can do it all now. I'm back to working out. So my doc, he said that he'd never seen anybody recover. It's only been, 5 weeks since I had shoulder surgery. I mean, like a major fucking surgery. He told me it'd be at least 3 weeks after being in a sling or at least 3 months after being in a sling for 3 weeks. But I got no pain. Good. And so they're going to do my other surgery week after next on the 11th. 9/11. Kind of a bad day to be getting
good day to go to tonight. Yeah. If your surgeon looks like he's got something under his robe, be concerned.
I'm the one that looks like the freaking jihadist, not him. What else we got?
Out on the table, just be on the safe side. So.
What are you guys' top ways not to F up life? So that was the thing that you thought I was going to talk about. Tara's Mama says, what are your guys' 5 ways not to F up your life, Mary?
I mean, it's pretty easy.
I don't know that I have 5 things. I don't know how I feel about Lace. I love you, and I know Lace is out there tonight. And I mean, I agree with her points to a certain extent, but I don't know. I worry that it casts a certain light that there's a certain spotlight on that now that I don't think needs to be there. I mean, you need to be aware of it. You need to be aware that there's a possibility of marital problems. But weight loss surgery does not cause marital problems, in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
I think
I don't know if that's what she was saying, but I think
Yeah, and I mean, like she was saying, like there's some complacency and there's some, everybody kind of goes, or you're kind of on autopilot before surgery, and then there's all these changes. There's a lot of reflecting that goes on, and hey, everybody go watch my week 9 video. Apparently my motion video got lost in time. Everybody forgot about it.
They did. They forgot.
They did. I covered all this. But everybody who might be, or anybody that is out there and they might be worried that, oh, fuck, now I can't let my husband or my wife get weight loss surgery because it's going to cause problems in our marriage. And it's not. It'll bring to light any problems that your marriage has. So if your marriage has problems, Paul, you want to get that fixed up before you have weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be too hard, and I agree with Lace that it's hard to do anything in that first year, right? I mean, I'm coming up on my 1 year. My surgery anniversary is on the 16th, but you shouldn't make any life decisions in the first year, but you're dealing with so much stuff while you're losing the weight and you're going through the first part of the journey that there's no way for you to work on a bad relationship or issues in your marriage during the journey. So I only have one as far as not fucking up your life, or I should say not fucking up your marriage, and that is make sure your marriage is solid before you have surgery. Make sure there's no hidden issues, you know, because, I mean, and you really do. You really have to stop and you have to really look at it and see, is there any issues? Is there any hidden issues? Is there anything that I have just decided to accept? Okay, I'm just going to accept the way things are. I'm just going to give in. Because if your relationship is at that point or in that state, you're fucked if you get surgery. I'm sorry, are we interrupting your phone?
No, I'm letting my phone stop interrupting us. I don't know.
Are we interrupting your
Join the chat again? You know how that goes. Phil, I want to talk to you, Phil.
So anyway, so there you go. So that's my thing. It's just make sure that your marriage, your relationship is solid before you have surgery.
Is our show interrupting your
Yes, it is. I'm muting it right now. I'm sorry.
How timely that was.
I know. So what's do you got anything on that?
Yeah, I'll come at it first from the don't mess up your life. Don't start smoking crack. That's bad. That'll screw up your life pretty bad.
I would say go with like heroin. If you want to go like a hardcore drug, heroin, and I think it's probably better than crack.
Yeah, so don't do that. Don't do crack. Don't stick your penis in somebody's vagina that doesn't belong in. It's pretty good too. Or your vagina on a penis that doesn't belong to you. That's also probably works both ways. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of common sense stuff. I mean, it's like, but I mean, to be serious, to your point, yeah, if you got bad marriage going in, you better be working on it ahead of time, and because you're gonna end up working on it one way or the other. I mean, look, I had to work on it during, and that was tough, and there were parts of it that got better, but I mean, this is true of some other people. I won't mention names, but like the partner starts trying a little harder at some point, but sometimes it's a little too late. So if you're a partner and if you're a person who's with somebody who's gonna have weight loss surgery and you're not, and they come to you and say, hey, I think we got these issues in our marriage, I want to work on it, and you're not willing to work on it because you're like, hey, man, I'm with you because you're fat. It's easy for me. I can be lazy in this relationship because you ain't going anywhere. Wow. You better check that attitude because that's going to change. That power is going to shift. And some people, when that power shifts, if you haven't been on your A game, and then you decide, oh my God, I'm going to lose this person. I'm going to try really hard now. You might be too late. So. Well,
that, and I think that if you overcorrect, if you overswing, it's just as bad as I mean, it really is. It's like driving down the road and something happens and you overcorrect. You could cause just as bad of an issue or worse than you did undercorrecting. You know what I mean? So I think that's a tendency that people overcorrect, and then you start smothering and you start confining. And we could do a show on that, but we won't because the Sarahs and Lays did this show last night. So really. Right. Just go watch Size Queen Saturdays. It's on Lessa Sarah's channel, and I don't know if it's in Neo. I don't know if it's on Neo's channel as well, but I know it's on Lessa Sarah's channel. So, Lessa Sarah VSG. Go to her page, watch their show last night, and it's going to address the lace thing and the 5 things. But I mean, I think anything that they said on that show is going to be a pretty universal.
Yeah, I think they covered it. I don't see any point in going back through it again. I mean, to your point. So yeah.
So there you go. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for asking the question. Okay, so what do we got here? So Lace asks. She asked before I said that, so she might be like, I ain't even talking to you now, motherfucker. But exactly. She says, how you liking Tampa? How you liking life in Tampa? I'm loving life in Tampa. Loving life in Tampa. This is on Facebook. I know you're not part of that social media anymore.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You live in Tampa? I saw did see that picture of you fishing that you kind of backlit by the sky, the sunset.
Yeah, well,
That was
here's the
pretty
thing
cool.
with that picture is that I didn't. The only thing I did was I changed the contrast on that, but all those colors and everything are there. That's all natural coloring. Yes, yeah, it's fucking awesome, and I start my day that way every morning. I go out.
Hey, the vein has been old vet is here. Nice. Her orders, not mine.
Yes, yeah. Oh, and thanks, Tanya, for providing the pre-show jams. I was listening to the Bang Bang song.
Bang Bang song.
Bang Bang.
That makes me think of Bang Bang Shrimp, which is
Huh.
not far from you.
Wait, I don't know, can you guys hear it? That's the Bang Bang song. I don't know if you can hear it or not. All right. So what else we got? Shit.
Let's see. TJ, how are you going with the quitting tobacco?
Oh, wow.
Mel wants to know, how are you going with the quitting tobacco?
Who asked? Mel?
Mel, yeah.
Do they speak English in fucking
She's
Australia?
probably speaking it correctly, and you just don't know, so. Says, TJ, how are you doing? Fine with...
No, it's not. It says, how are you going?
It says going, but they use going. Yeah, come on, man, you know this. We got enough Aussie friends at this point.
It's going shitty. Thanks for asking. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
How's the no drinking going?
I haven't had anything to drink.
I have not actually. When I said I was drinking, I was not drinking alcohol tonight. Although I really wanted to because it's been that kind of week. But just water. So since I'm dehydrated, probably was a bad idea to drink alcohol.
No, but as far as the drinking thing goes, it really hasn't been a big deal. I said, oh, well, I'm going to quit drinking because I was drinking pretty heavily, like on a nightly basis. Was I an alcoholic? No, because I didn't like go into cold sweats and shakes whenever I didn't drink. I wasn't like drinking while I was working. I wasn't giving anybody a blowjob for my next shot or anything like that. I just was like, okay, this is a little bit irresponsible.
Chill it out, just
yeah. I mean, it's irresponsible drinking. So I still drink at social occasions, and I don't think I've drank on a Fat King's Friday for a while, but tonight I decided to. But I've had a rough week, so I'm an adult. I can fucking drink in moderation every once in a while. So, thanks for bringing that up as well.
Oh, shit.
Nobody asked about my weed. How's your weed going, TJ? Well, it's not fucking legal in Florida, so it's not going at all. God damn it. I own a house in Colorado. I own a house in fucking Washington. And I live in Florida. No, let me move somewhere where it's illegal.
How's that working out for you, man?
Fucking sucks.
Oh my god.
Have you caught any fish that are longer than your Johnson yet? Yes, I have.
They have great whites down there? I did not know that.
I caught a minnow, and it was definitely bigger than my Johnson. They got some big fish here, man. I caught this big old red. I mean, he was probably 14 inches or so. I don't know how much he weighs. He is a big fucking fish, and to me that's a big fish because I'm used to like freshwater fishing, right? Like Colorado and stuff. You catch a fucking 8-pound trout, that's a big deal. Here you catch an 8-pound fish, and they're like, so that's like bait, Throw that shit back.
Send it back.
Send it back. But Penny's been, she's been going with me too. So it's been nice. It's kind of about, it's fun if you catch fish, but it's really kind of just about starting out your day, getting out in nature, kind of relaxing. Just kind of, it's a nice way to start the day, I think.
That sounds good to me. I mean, I don't like to eat fish, so I don't fish, but I mean, otherwise I would fish because it does seem like it'd be fun. I got a fishing kayak. It would be easy for me to even get out on the water and do it, but I don't eat them, so not in general. So I feel bad then if I freaking, catch them.
I want to do some kayak fishing, but I'm going to wait until both shoulders are done. I'm all the way healed up because I'm thinking if I'm out there and one of my shoulders goes bum, it's probably bad. I mean, it's going to suck if you're on the ocean, or I mean out on a river or lake, but if you're in the fucking ocean and your arm gives out on you, I think bad things happen.
It could end very badly. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, slightly. All right, so what else we got? What is it like having a real baby in your house again? How long do do you do physio on your shoulder? So I was supposed to do 3 months of physical therapy. I did 3 sessions. Good to go. It sucked having a baby in the house. It was great to see the grandkid. It was great. But she landed, they came down, and the kid was fucking crying. Not like screaming.
Yeah.
Screaming. And I was like, this is not what it's going to be
work
for
me.
2 weeks, right? No, she hardly ever cries. So apparently every 10 fucking minutes is hardly ever. And she didn't just like cry a little. She's screaming. I mean, and I'm like, what? Like, something's wrong.
Right.
Know?
Everything in my body is telling me this child needs help.
She's sweating. She's screaming so much. I'm like, what is going on? You're trying to give her food. You're walking her around. No, she's just being a female.
Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Oh,
shit. What's the thing that motivates you the most? Asked Mike. Motivates me the most for what? I guess would be my question.
Yeah, because I mean, well, let's go through a couple of things. What motivates
like to keep getting out of bed every morning? You know,
like what motivates you? Yeah, I would say that he probably means what keeps you going, what keeps you on course, what motivates you.
Probably. Yeah, let's just assume it's weight or WLS related. I don't know, man. It's just I'm just trying to push my body to a new level now. Like I always have to have a goal, so I just find a new goal. So when I hit my weight goal, I moved up to the body fat percentage goal and the maintain for a year, and then at the end of a year, it'll be maintained for 2 years and do some other fitness thing or some other fitness challenge or.
Did you say do a shitness thing?
No, fitness. Thing.
I swear you said a shitness thing.
You've been drinking, I have not, so we're gonna go with mine. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, and the only way to avoid muscle, mass loss or to build muscle is to get a lot of protein in and enough calories. That's kind of tough right now. So, we shall see how it goes.
For me, my motivation is just what I'm able to do, and I guess what I mean by that is my weight loss was kind of about health, but it was more about activity. Like there's a lot of things I wanted to do that I couldn't do, and so now what motivates me is my activity levels, right? My weight's pretty much stabilized in a 9-pound range-ish, right? It kind of fluctuates in there. But whenever I get on the higher side of that 9 pounds, just doing certain things, I like to like going out fishing, going out walking, whatever it is, working out a little bit, or we play pool leagues. You notice that little 10-pound difference. You just do. You can tell that it's there. So that's what motivates me. So as soon as I can feel that, you can feel a slight change in the movement, the way your body feels, a slight bit more effort, and then and it's like, okay, and then I snap right back to it, and just thinking about or trying to picture myself with putting, like, I wish I had a 135-pound vest that I could just throw on me every once in a while.
Remind yourself.
Just to walk around, yeah, so I can be like, oh, fuck, yeah, this is what this felt like. Because I don't recall, I could pick up dumbbells, but like mentally, I don't understand. I don't remember being that big, even though it was less than a year ago.
No, it makes sense. Like that totally makes sense. I mean, it's that's I guess something that, like, when I saw my stats today at the nut, I was a little freaked out because it's just, again, being dehydrated. Sometimes that throws off the scale, but not the scale so much, but the body composition. Because my weight was exactly the same. Actually, I was a pound down from last time that I was there with her, but my body fat was up 2 pounds and my muscle weight was down 3 pounds. And I'm like, that's not even possible. Like, even I have to admit that's not likely. So.
I just think that it's funny that you, even at this stage, you are still. Like, you're still freaking out over a pound, 2 pounds. Like,
the pounds I don't care. It's the composition. Like, if I lose 3 pounds of muscle, I give a shit. That's bad because I'm trying to build muscle. That does bother me, but.
Yeah, but losing 3 pounds of muscle would be. I mean, like, you would almost have to be sick to lose 3 pounds of muscle.
So and the water, and I know that those things are particularly sensitive to water. And my water, the last 4 times I visited her was dead on the same, and my water composition this time was lower. So she said dehydration could play a big role in it, so we'll just see. So let's just check next time. And she wasn't that concerned, but of course, me being me, I gotta freak the fuck out. So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude, you know, I worry about you, man. This sounds horrible, but your dad had a heart attack, right? Or did he have an aneurysm?
We don't know, but think it was an aneurysm, yeah.
For some reason I was thinking a heart attack, but you have weight loss, so you don't have a heart attack. You need to chill the fuck out. You live in Colorado. I tell you, you need to start smoking some weed or something because you're gonna have a fucking heart attack. You're way too high strung. Like you're a moody fucking bitch, man. Like you.
Thank you.
I talk to you and you're like, oh, fucking shit.
Dude, I'm having a bad fucking week.
And then I'll talk to you the next week and you're like, oh yeah, things are good. You know, I was just kind of going through a phase. And then I talk to you and say, fucking Outlook.com. Fucking
dude, it's like shit just stacked up on me and then I snap. That's just how it is. I don't know what else to say.
You just need to chill the fuck out.
Why don't you shut the fuck up? I did yell at a bunch of people in a meeting at work last week because obviously I had all that shit going on with Allison, and
right.
I was trying to be cool about it, but I fucking snapped because I had a room full of adults acting like little kids that didn't want to take responsibility for anything, and not that they were, I'm just saying they were acting like that, and I was like, at least from my perspective, and I just fucking let them have it. Everybody on that call was like dead silent after I got done. I'm like, yeah, I may have overreacted there a little bit.
Hey, Jeff just said, I'm going to interrupt you because Jeff's journey says that you did say shitness. I'm telling you, you said shitness.
Lies and blasphemy will get you nowhere.
Here's the good thing is that this is recorded.
It's recorded.
Where are we at? Somebody time mark it and look back like a minute ago. But anyway. So, yeah, I mean, you snapped and you yelled at everybody and they freaked out. But I remember some of the fucking freakouts I used to have at Myers Internet. I used to go fucking... What was that dude's name? The really skinny diabetic dude.
Oh.
His dad was an evangelical Christian, like a...
Oh, you mean Bobby Lee's kid? Or are you talking about Scott?
No, what's his name? No, he wore the glasses. He looked like Stephen Hawking, not in a wheelchair.
I am not remembering this guy.
He had diabetic. He was diabetic. He wore a little pump on his side.
Wow, I'm totally blanking out.
I don't know if you remember my cube before I moved in the back room with Cookta, but he was right behind me. He came in. He sat where Bland used to sit.
Sorry, man. I am totally just...
Fucking hell. Anyway, he said something. He just said the wrong words. Something came up, because I had to customize somebody's website, but they were stacked up. And he said, "This isn't acceptable." I fucking snapped on him right there and yelled, "What the fuck do you mean? This is not? You're not my manager, motherfucker. You're not." I went off.
Oh god, there were a couple times that there were things like that, but I just don't remember that dude, man.
How do you not remember? Well,
I know you were gonna try and kill Cook at one point. Then was it Bland? Not Bland.
No, Bland was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Cook used to wrestle. I got a little rough, but I was shocked that he was straight. And not only was he straight, but he's like
he was a pinup dude.
Man, yeah. This is Cookta. His name is John Cookta. He kind of has like a Bob Ross thing going.
He really does.
Bit. And he would sit and he would have this like throw blanket that was knitted in rainbow pastel colors over his blanket.
Oh shit! Forgot about this.
That's right. And he had a very kind of, like just everything you would
just
say.
Enough to make you wonder. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
And at that time I was single, and Williams was like, "Oh, well, Cookta will take you out on town and show you." And I'm like, I said, "No, I'm straight." And Cook's just like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're gay, aren't you?" He goes, "No, I'm not gay." Just like, what?
What's the way he said it too, which made it even worse.
I'm not gay.
You would have cared.
Like, but no, I didn't care. I just assumed that he was gay.
Yeah, me too. For a while, but
no, he was Pimp Daddy, man. He
I don't know how that boy closed some deals.
I don't know. Maybe it's because he was very non-threatening.
Right. He probably came across. They probably thought he was gay too, and then next thing you know, they're sleeping with him. They're like, "How did this happen? I turned another gay guy straight. I'm the woman." Oh,
Let's
God.
see. Also, do you try to eat every so many hours? I don't. I did it first. Doug drops away asked about this. Do you try to eat every so many hours? And that was one of the things that freaked me out whenever I went to the seminar because they had a dude there who kind of told his story, and he was talking about how he would wait or he would set his timer and he would take like a sip of water every 10 minutes and he ate every 2 hours, and they talked about how regimented your life had to be, and I was just like, I can't like do that kind of regimented life. But I never did. I made sure that I continuously got through my 3 water jugs a day, and I ate when I got hungry. I was never regimented.
I didn't have any problem with regiment. Big shocker. Big surprise. I'm sure everybody listening is just beyond baffled by that. Yeah, so basically, I do eat. I still eat on a schedule for the most part. Unless I'm just really not, unless I'm like starving a little early, I'll eat a little early. If I'm not hungry when I'm supposed to eat, sometimes I'll push out 30 minutes. But I tend to eat first thing when I get up. I have my yogurt, my granola, and my Fit Frappe. I mix it all together. Just one little scoop of Fit Frappe, a little quarter cup of granola, yogurt. Boom, eat it. Get out the door. 10 o'clock, I have my perky jerky, my cheese stick.
What?
12.
Wait a minute, you said perky jerky?
I did.
Dude, that's like highly processed foods.
I don't care.
That's not pound of cure. I thought.
I'm not on the pound of cure. I'm
Wait,
on the
you're,
pound of
hold on a
pain.
second. You're successful and you're not on pound of cure?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I know.
Well, you're only a year out. We'll wait until you're
That's
like
true.
2 years
That's
out,
true.
and then we'll see how you
But then
eat.
I'll be washed up and out of the community. I have to leave then. It's like
You'll be-
Logan's
you'll-
Run. They just put you out or kill you. You know.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. So then I eat my lunch, which is normally some kind of lean protein, and then I'll work out. I'll have a Fit Frappe after my workout, and whatever dinner I have for dinner about 5, 6 o'clock. So sexy, I know. Try to control yourselves.
But Phil's very regimented. Phil, whenever it's not a bad thing, but he keeps all of his receipts as soon as he gets home at the end of the day. He jumps on his QuickBooks. He fucking enters everything that he spent. If Allison if she forgets a receipt, he beats her and locks her in a closet.
No, we don't share any accounts. That's not true.
But yeah, no, he's like highly regimented in his. It's kind of funny to watch, but I always thought that was amusing to a certain extent that you were so fat because, like, your energy level is crazy.
Everybody says this.
Fucking is crazy high, and it's like there's no slacking at all. Like something is a little bit squeaky in his seat in his car. Most of us would ignore it. No, he tore his whole fucking car apart. His seat. He got the correct bracket, cut down to the correct size, and special ordered the correct nut, and torqued it to the correct fucking proportionate.
Okay, that's a little extreme, but close.
Yeah, the dude that's how he's like, oh, I need to do my backyard. Next thing I know, I'm over like trying to help him shovel 8 million pounds of rocks and.
Yeah. That is true. You did do that.
Yeah, and then you decide, oh, I want Cat 5 in my house, and we end up pulling fucking cable all weekend.
We did pull cable. This is true.
No, Phil's a fucking high energy level dude. But anyway, yeah, no, he's very regimented. Like I'm type A, but I have a lot of, I guess, type B kind of traits in the sense that I'm very chaos oriented, like I don't plan shit at all. Like it stresses me out to plan. Here's the thing is like
not unusual. I mean, a lot of people,
No.
just it's either it makes you feel better. Like I like the illusion of control. I know there's no real control. I get it, but I enjoy that illusion of control at the very least. So
yeah, it's funny whenever Tanya visits or whenever we go visit Tanya and John, it's like it's regimented down to the fucking minute, and Jenny does the same thing. Like she sent an itinerary out to everybody whenever they were coming out here. It's like At 11:42, we will arrive at the beach, and at 3:36, we will begin cleanup, and then at 4:02, we will go.
Wait, she's in the military and she does this? You gotta be
Yes,
kidding me.
yeah. Well, and she's a logistics commander, but Tanya does it too. So you get the two of them together, and me and John are just kind of like, hey, we're just gonna do whatever y'all got planned out.
Just tell us where you want us to be.
Just whatever. John's fucking awesome, man. Like he seems like a little kid. Like you know how a little kid just kind of walks around just like wide-eyed, and everything seems like a wonder to them. That's what John reminds me of. Like everything is just so interesting to him, and he just kind of takes everything in. It's so cool. Yeah.
John.
Oh yeah. What else we got here? So, Finding Tammy asked on Facebook, what emotional changes come with VSG for us that are about to have surgery? Because we are freaking out about now. So she's, I assume, I'm going to try to infer that she's referring to Lacey's video. And she's asking about the many stages of the emotional roller coaster that is WLS. So, Phil, you go first. Well, I mean, what's your thoughts? What do you think they should expect?
Man, I was telling my Padawan Josh that you just gotta. This is the one time you gotta focus on something, and you can't put yourself last, which is probably your default mode if you've been overweight your whole life. You always want to make sure everybody likes you, so you put your needs last. This is the one thing where you cannot do that. If you start doing that, you're gonna fail. So you might have some anxiety about that. You might have some anxiety about how other people are going to react to you, and they are going to react not well because they're so used to you bending over backwards for their needs. And you know what? You're just going to start having to learn how to deal with that now because it's going to happen. But as far as leading up to the surgery, you're going to freak out. No matter what I tell you, you're going to freak out till they put you out. There's just no way I can stop that.
There'll be freakouts. I calm down. Yeah, don't freak out. It's really nothing.
It's not worth it. It's not. The math is on your side. There's just no way around that. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, on 9/11, this will be my third general anesthesia surgery this year. In the past year, this will be my third. So you have nothing to worry. Unless I die, and then, oops.
Then you should freak the fuck out. Then,
if I die in a couple of weeks, I feel bad because, R.I.P. to Joan Rivers, but she just died she was having vocal cord surgery, is what they're saying she was having.
I did not realize that was the deal there.
Yeah, so she was having vocal cord surgery and her heart stopped. And then they had her on life support and they took her off. But anyway, if that was one of Phil's big freakouts was the surgery. That's what kind of kept you from doing it for a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even up to the moment they rolled me in, I was sure I was a dead man. So, I mean, it was I just was. I'm like, that's it. It's over.
But you have to kind of wait, it's like, yes, you could die. You could die from the surgery, you could die from complications after surgery, you could die during the surgery. That's possible.
It's not probable, but it's possible.
It's possible. It's highly improbable. But it's
highly improbable.
Extremely improbable. But you have to weigh that over your end years, right? Because being overweight is going to cut time off your life if you successfully traverse all the other things that could kill you in life. So if only health is what ends up killing you in the end, you might lose 10 years, you might lose 15 years. So is it worth this much risk to add another 10, 15 years to your life? And good years, where you're able to be mobile. You're not one of the people stuck in one of those carts driving around the fucking Walmart because you can't even walk anymore.
Exactly. That's a good point. And I'd do it again right now. Like I told Josh, I said if I woke up tomorrow morning and my stomach was back to full size, I would, and my insurance was like, oh, sorry, you only get one surgery. You're one of those few people who it grows back. I would be calling up some Mexican surgery place, be like, I'll be down there next week.
You would see Dr. Alvarez at endobariatric.com.
That's whom I would see. You are correct. Actually, you're probably right. I would.
That's who I go see. I have no affiliation with him. I got like a man crush on him.
No, yeah. I think the fact that he goes out there and puts all those videos out and
does podcasts and
part of the community. I know it's for selfish reasons, but nothing wrong with that. Pimping yourself a little bit.
So anyway, so that's the pre-surgery. So now you've had surgery, right? And you start down the weight loss path. What do you see as the progression of the emotional roller coaster? Because yours was different than mine. Because I freaked out and went to shit before you did.
You did. That's right.
I did. And Tanya, it took her 2 years to go
2
to
years.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think well, yeah, I'm just trying. I mean, I definitely think that you have to. There is a definite hormonal change for sure. For you and I, as guys, it was very much more the testosterone and the aggression and the, the virility, and you just all that comes on. And a lot of the guys have said that too. The other guys. So that plays into it. The breaking out, like you're 14, that also comes into it. But it's just like second puberty. It's just all in how you handle it. Except now this time around, you're kind of not the fat kid. You're the skinnier kid. So you have opportunities. You have to be careful with opportunities. But there's also, like you start evaluating, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be putting myself last, and maybe it's okay to want these things, and maybe it's okay to want those things, and well, why do I have to be the one that bends over backwards? So there's gonna be some shit you're gonna deal with on the mental side that just comes with the new body. There's nothing you can do about that. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not gonna candy coat it.
And did you ever get into that lost phase? Who am I? Questioning your core values.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. So I read this really good, and I think I linked this up in one of my videos. I'll have to go find it. But it was a whole like module on self-esteem, and all these rules that I created throughout my life about I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that, and blah 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 blah, and this very black and white moral code that I had. All of that started coming into question. Like, well, some of this stuff's not so black and white, really. It's kind of more of issues of gray, and how comfortable am I with gray? I wasn't comfortable with gray at all. Kirk makes the great joke, 50 Shades of Phil. And there's really only two, there's black and there's white. But that's the problem, though. That becomes a problem, and it's a defense mechanism you put in place so you don't get hurt as being an overweight person. So if I do these things, if I always make sure I take a shower every day and my clothes are neatly pressed and I always shave and I always comb my hair if you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you make these rules so that you don't stand out. You just fit in, you blend in, and they become like these life things. Like, you have to do them, I have to do them. But they're just self-defense mechanisms that you put in place for low self-esteem, and then when you don't have to worry about the reason why you made all those rules, you start questioning those rules. So you will be going down that road for sure.
Yeah. And I think that so my thought is yeah, so you got a little bit of a freak out. You got your 2-week fucking pre-op diet.
Oh, that's
rough, man. The pre-op diet's rough, and
it is rough.
And you kind of question it because you're like, oh fuck, how am I gonna be like just do this for a while?
Calories for the rest of my life? I can't do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, this is horrible. I'm miserable, and I broke down. I had a hot dog stirred in my fucking pre-op thing, but anyway, so you're freaking out because of the surgery, and then the pre-op diet for me was really rough. But as soon as you wake up, that hunger's gone, and those cravings are gone. For me, it was instant. I mean, it was right away. They were gone. I didn't have them anymore. And then you kind of go through you go through the healing thing. You go through a lot of worrying. God, I haven't shit for 2 weeks, or God, I can only eat 2 ounces of food, or I'd take a drink and this hurts, and there's just a lot of worry of little stupid shit that if you ask anybody, any of the vets, they're gonna tell you, oh, don't worry about it. Most of the shit you shouldn't worry about. Make sure you do your follow-ups, and then you go through this amazing phase for 2 months of just crazy weight loss, just weight falling off, and then some people plateau out a little bit, so then you go through a freak out phase of, oh fuck, is this it? Is it not going to work for me? Yeah, exactly. Am I done?
I failed at this too?
I know that. Well, I guess it's great. I lost 30 pounds, but this sucks. I was expecting more. But anyway, it'll kick back in. So anyway, you'll plateau out. You'll freak out a little bit. At some point, you'll realize that you're getting skinny and looking good, and people are going to start noticing you, and then you maybe jump on the Facebooks and the YouTubes, and you start getting some more friends, and then you kind of fall into this adolescent phase, and who knows what that can entail. I mean, that could just be spending a lot of time on social media, it could be out partying, it could be having affairs, it could be getting divorced, it could be None of those things. I mean, you're just going to go through something. There'll be a phase of something. And then there'll be a little bit of maybe regret or something will kick in where all of a sudden you feel lost and you feel, oh, well, there's some like, who am I and what do I really want and am I really where I want to be in my life? And it's just kind of a lost feeling and a reassessment of yourself. And then you're going to get through that and you'll weather that storm and then you settle back into kind of the new you. So who you are. So, and it's going to be kind of a split. There are going to be some permanent changes to who you are as a person, but some of your pre-surgery personality traits are going to come back. So you're going to settle into what the new you is, and that's going to happen probably in that year out range.
Yeah, and there's gonna. I mean, you do have to be aware. Look, I'm not saying that everybody who's overweight has addiction, but there's been addiction in my family for many, many moons, many generations. So I am always a little bit more aware of that. So you got to be careful. If your addiction was eating and you can't do that anymore, I mean, you can do it. You could do it a little bit every hour, and you could screw yourself up there. You could start drinking. Once you start going back to drinking, which there was a question in here about how long did we wait till we started drinking, and I waited quite a while.
I didn't, and I said I was not going to drink for a year.
For a year, I know. I said the same thing. I didn't wait that long, but. Like 6 months, I think. But
I did like 4 months, I think.
But I'll admit I have had more to drink this year than I have in previous years. But I'm aware of that, and I put some rules around that. So so I kind of check that. But then it could be affairs. It could be. I was actually talking to my nut today. She said a lot of people go to another thing. They start having affair after affair after affair. They start getting drunk all the time. They start doing drugs. They start doing whatever. So I mean, it's not uncommon. It can happen. So just be aware of it. So.
Yeah, and you have to. It's hard because there's a warped reality kind of phase, I guess, in that adolescent phase or that lost phase or whatever, where it's not what you're feeling isn't necessarily real. It's something new that you haven't really dealt with before, especially if you've been fat for your whole life. Whereas I wasn't fat my whole life, and I still went through that phase, but. You're just feeling things that you haven't felt in a long time, or that you've never felt. You have these weird opportunities. You have maybe some different attention. You have the ability to do things that you weren't able to do before. Just things get a little warped. So it's you just gotta understand that what you're going through at that time. And I think like somebody that I can think of that is going through it right now is probably Mama Mia. She just went to it after her first meet and greet, right? And then after you get back, you have that kind of feeling, that lost feeling in a certain sense because you just were around all these WLSers and you are on the same page and you had this great time. It was a vacation. It was vacation fun, and now you're back to your regular life and you're kind of in this weird, lost, warped kind of zone where you're questioning everything. And you just have to understand that it's not reality. It's gonna go back to something different, or it's gonna change to something different over the next 2, 3, 4 months. So you just have to weather that storm, I think.
I think, and to that point too, there'll be a moment where you do have to go to a meet and greet and meet your people. That's for sure. Especially if you make a lot of connections you will make connections with people. You'll be close to people. Online, some of them men, some of them women. Obviously be careful when it stops the sex, not even if there's something going on with you, but maybe the other person thinks there's something going on, or maybe you both kind of have an attraction, and or other people are perceiving it differently than you are, and that can cause trouble in your current relationship, etc. There's that. There's also going to be a time where, for some reason, you're going to step away from the community and go on vacation for a week.
Everybody gives up. Everybody goes, I'm fucking done with this, and they leave.
Everybody kind of walks away for a while, and there is kind of a release, like, oh, I'm not thinking about weight loss or talking about weight loss every 5 fucking seconds of my day, and it becomes appealing to be away from it. But then you'll eventually, after a couple weeks, you'll kind of miss the accountability, you'll miss the people, and you'll come back, in a different capacity, but you will come back. So just be aware that's going to happen. There's just no way around it, So.
Wow, this is taking longer than I thought. We're hitting a lot of questions.
And we're like, we're not going to be able to talk for 5 freaking minutes. It's going to suck.
So hopeful. I know. I was like, oh, we're gonna get like a 20-minute show instead of 2 hours.
And
No,
we're like, that's fine, screw it.
we say that every show.
So we do.
Okay. So hopeful TVSG says, what is your most memorable NSV? I would say I have two. My first one is I still have them in a certain sense where I could just like go do stuff and not have to worry about it anymore. Like I go clothes shopping, I go to amusement parks, I could get on a plane, I could do whatever. But my most memorable was whenever I sat down in the seat in the airplane and I just went click and I pulled the seatbelt tight. So that was a memorable NSV.
And done.
Yeah, and then I was going to the amusement park because I was down to like the 250, 260-ish range, I think, whenever I went to the amusement park again after surgery, and I didn't know until I actually went, am I gonna be able to ride the rides? Because that summer, right before I had surgery, I couldn't get on rides because I was too fat. I couldn't ride them. So then to be able to sit down and just pull that lap bar down or that harness down, those are probably my two most memorable. What about you?
That's pretty good. For me, I think it was just, I had been taking the same kind of workout classes before I had the surgery, and then after the surgery, it was like, oh my God, I can do all this stuff. Like I can do this now, and like that was just like, finally I was building a body that I was like happy with. I was making gains. I couldn't make gains for all the time, and as far as whether I could go, work out the whole time or lift a little more or whatever, and that was pretty big. And then like anything, once you get into the 250 range, and you've talked about this 1,000 times, but once you get into the 250 range, it's like, well, shit. I mean, everything's built for me now. I can do this whenever I want. It's not a big deal, and that's pretty awesome. You're like, wow, I can just whenever I want to. So simple. I can just go do these things. I can buy a kayak. I can climb a ladder. I can do this. I can do that. Whatever it is, It's just like, wow, this makes all the sense in the world now.
Yeah, and I do. I still have those moments all the time now. Where I sit down at a booth and my stomach isn't touching the table. I can just walk in the store and I can just buy clothes. Anything I want to do, anything I physically want to do, I can just do. I took the dogs out as me and Jenny and her brother had come out to visit us, and we were walking the dogs down by a beach, and the dogs wanted to run. I just took off running with the dogs. We were just running down the beach, and I didn't really think about it. And she pointed it out to me. She's like, "You wouldn't have been able to do that a year ago." It's like, "Yeah, wow. I wouldn't have been able to do that a year ago." But now you catch yourself just doing things that you never thought that you could do, and now all of a sudden you're just doing them without even thinking about it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's funny. You still get them. You're right. You do still get them. You don't think about it, but it happens. You're like, oh wow, I did blah blah blah. I couldn't have done that before. Yeah, the airline thing was a big deal too. You're right. I totally forgot about that. And even now when I get on a plane, you're right. It's still, you're like, holy shit, like that's crazy. Like how the hell did that happen? So yeah, it's just funny.
And then also like sometimes Jenny will buy me a shirt. Like this shirt is a large. Like I always buy extra large for myself. I still can't, in my brain, I just don't understand that I can wear a large shirt. But she'll bring home like a shirt or something, and it's a large. I'm like, this is a large. I'm not gonna be able. Oh, I can wear this. Oh, right on.
Nice.
Okay, so Finding Tammy also asks VSG Dano. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with him, but would like to know how you keep from losing muscle when he has VSG. Okay, I want to get into this a little bit. Phil, you can talk about this more because you had more concern about it than I did. I didn't give a fuck. I just want to lose weight. Don't over-protein yourself. That's the only thing I'm going to say on it. I mean, do your strength training and stuff, but don't do this insane fucking 150, 200 grams of protein a day. That's my advice. I'll tell you what not to do. Don't do that. But Phil wanted to keep muscle the whole way, so go ahead, Phil.
Oh, yeah. So during the weight loss, you're going to lose muscle. I don't care what you do. But you want to make sure that I think most people recommend 80 grams of protein in the weight loss phase. Check with your doc. I think 80 was what I was told. So you're going to lose some. There's just no way around it. But keep working out the entire time, and don't just – it will slow your weight loss down. I'm not going to lie to you, but if you lift weights while you are losing weight, you will maintain more muscle than if you don't, but it will slow down your weight loss. So it's a trade-off, and it's up to you. Do what you want to do, but I would recommend that. Now, once you get into another phase, you work with a nutritionist, and I say you should work with a nutritionist throughout. I did, and she was by far my best team partner in the whole weight loss process. Better than the surgeon's office, better than everybody else. My GP was probably my second best, but the surgeon's office was the last people that I would call for help. So, but yeah, so do that, and then if you get to a point where you want to build muscle after you're at goal and you're increasing your calories, to do that, then work with a nutritionist to tell you how much protein you should take in, because I will just leave it at that. We're
going to have conflicting views on that.
We're going to have conflicting views on that. So,
I go by science and Phil goes by, I don't know.
I go by nutritionists that have science degrees. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so let's see. Favorite meal, cocktail, drug of choice, post-op. Drugs of choice are going to be the same post-op, pre-op. Somebody that, I already answered it on another thing. But anyway, my favorite meal post-op was actually very odd to me, and that was the beans and cheese. I talked about it in the video I just did last week.
Yeah, right.
Because I hated refried beans, hated them. But that was the first thing actual food I ate was some refried beans with some cream cheese, and it was the most amazing tasting thing I'd ever eaten in my life. Cocktails, for me, it was always easiest and tasted the best to do screwdrivers, but now I've moved to the kind of a White Russian, but it's just half and half with Midnight Kahlua.
I think that you can say goodbye to beer because it's just too many calories and too many bubbles. I don't recommend it. Even if you can get a stout that's got very little bubbles and stuff, it's not worth the.
You can do ale or ciders. Hard ciders are okay.
Hard ciders, but again, not in my opinion worth the calories. So hard alcohol was my way to go. I'd say vodka mixes with pretty much anything and is fairly potent. And then from there, if you're gonna not be mixing, then of course there's scotches and whiskeys and things like that, but that's an acquired taste. So
probably one of the lowest. I hate that we're we're gonna get hate mail about talking about alcohol and what you can drink afterwards, but
right. Don't drink any, but
don't drink any. But if you should choose to go down that road, light cranberry juice and vodka is an amazing mix, and it's very low on the calories. So anyway, we'll move on from there. What kind of pre-op diet did you have to go through? How long did it take you to have surgery once you went to the seminar? So I went to the seminar in November of 2012, my first seminar, and I didn't have surgery until September 16th of 2013. So I don't know, whatever you do the math. So anyway, there's that, and then my pre-op was pretty much just protein shakes. It was protein shakes and Isopure for 2 weeks prior to surgery.
Yep, protein shakes and one lean and green for the evening meal, and that was it.
Do you have days where you still eat bread or pasta, cheat days, etc.? If so, at what point did that become okay for you? I don't really have cheat days because I'm the dough machine. I don't remember who told me who coined me as the dough machine, but somebody did. So now I can have a little more breads. I still can't eat pasta. Rice really doesn't sit well with me and so on. So I would say that it's almost a year out now. I'll have maybe a little more ice cream than I had before or something like that. But I can't eat breads. I can't eat pastas. I can't eat rices. So I don't really have too many cheat days.
I have stayed pretty much away from pastas and no rice. Primarily because rice, I like rice in it, but it swells up in your stomach pretty well. So I'm a Gold Star sleever. I have not thrown up. So I'm the anti-TJ when it comes to that. But
That's right.
the other side of that coin is I can have breads. Like I can have a bagel if I want to. I don't. I try not to. But there are times where I'll have half a bagel. I could have a donut. I try not to because I don't need it still. But I will tell you guys that one thing I've learned, and this is kind of scary for me, is that I am at the point now where I work out enough and I eat fairly regimented enough to where I can snack on crappy things if I want to, and it doesn't really affect my weight at all. So I can go over my calories for the day if I want to. I could have corn chips if I want to, or tortilla chips if I want to. I could have cracker or a cookie or something, which I really don't need to be eating. But I tend to only eat one versus 7, so or 10 or a box. But I still try to stay away from that because I just feel like that's just a trick. It's trying to tempt me back in, and as soon as I think I can have that shit, it'll come back to haunt me. So I try not to do it, but if every once in a while I want it, and I have it. But then again, I'm at goal. So
Right.
I work out religiously. So.
And then there's another question: were your spouse is supportive when you first came to them with the idea of weight loss surgery? If not, what did you have to do to get them on board? For me, initially Jenny was not. She wasn't not supportive. I know that's a double negative, but it wasn't that she wasn't supportive of it. She just wasn't sure that it was something that I needed. You know, it was like, well, I don't know that you need to do that. I'm not really sure you need to go through that. But she went to the seminars with me and things like that, and she just became supportive. Once she saw it and she understood the statistics and she heard the stories and things like that, she became very supportive of it. And then she kind of became indifferent or kind of tired of it, tired of hearing about me talking about weight loss and weight loss this and dealing with the weight loss community and all that. So there was a certain amount of complacency or maybe a withdrawal from me and from it and a certain hate that came with that.
A certain hate.
And then I was through my fucked up crazy phase, and then she became part of the community, and I feel like she's very accepted part of the community, and she started the Plus One crew along with John and Will. So that's the story of what happened with me. Allison's I don't know what Allison's feeling is on all of it.
Apathy to most things that I do. I'm not picking on her at all. She just, whatever. You're gonna do whatever you want. You're gonna do whatever you want. Like I used to when we were my first wife used to say I was a tyrant. I don't see it that way, but sometimes it's easier to let that be the case, because then you have no personal responsibility in anything. So well, you're just gonna do what you want. So, but after that, it was like, like I don't care if you do this or not. I mean, as far as if you lose weight or not, you don't have to. If you want to, fine. But she just didn't really feel like it was necessary. But I don't think she was going to stop me either. But there was a part of me I think that always was like, well, maybe if I lose weight, some of our problems will go away. But they didn't. I mean, and that's that wasn't like she'd ever said, oh yeah, if you lose weight, it's all going to be better, or that your weight's the problem or anything like that. That was my personal insecurity, and I hung my hat on that, and then it didn't turn out to work out too well. But that's okay. I mean, we just keep going, keep going forward. So, yeah, but I don't think that's beyond that. I mean, does she care? I don't think it matters either way. I mean, but I know that when I got back from Tampa, I guess whatever, attitude I brought back from the Tampa trip, she started putting in a little more effort, and was like, for her, that's a big deal. I mean, for her, that was a big amount of effort. I don't know that it was necessarily enough to snap my attention right away, but I'm like, this ain't gonna last, but it did, and it's, everything worked out for a reason, I guess. Given everything that's going on right now, so
right.
We shall see.
And we'll just do, there's one final question I see out there, and that's, are you guys taking the vitamins and supplements still? What kind do you take, and did you ever have any deficiencies since surgery? For me, I just did a video, and I talked about the vitamins, but I just do a daily vitamin and B12, and that's pretty much it. Deficiencies, I did have a vitamin D deficiency, and I did have an iron deficiency, but vitamin D, I just had to get out in the sun a little bit more, and iron, my doctor actually told me to eat more red meat, because you kind of stop eating red meat because it's so dense. So you're going more towards chicken or protein, or some people fish, and red meat just kind of makes its way out of your diet, so it's easy to become deficient in that. So the doc actually said eat some more red meat, so I'm all good now.
And I didn't have any deficiencies other than D when I started, and I was taking 5,000 units a day anyway. So not uncommon in Colorado. It seems like a lot of people are D deficient, which is weird because we have more sun here throughout the year than anybody.
300 days of sunshine.
Yeah, I mean it's a ridiculous amount of sunshine. Even in the middle of winter when it's freezing ass cold, there's sun's out and skies are blue. You're like, what's going on? But nothing there.
You got to wear so many clothes to keep warm, so you don't get absorption.
So you don't get absorption. That's a good point. So I got my solar panel though, so it should work. But yeah. Other than that, I take my D still. I take multi chewable. Just like it's almost like a Starburst, GNC Starburst kind of consistency. I take a calcium, but I only take half the recommended calcium in a day. And I take a probiotic. That's it. As a matter of fact, my iron was a little high the last time I was tested, so I don't have to add any iron to my diet. I don't have to add anything. I mean, my D was right where it should be, so I guess 5,000 units a day is right for me. But that's it. Just to go off your blood when it comes to vitamins. If you go in and get tested 6 months in and something's high, talk to your doc about backing down your vitamin intake in that particular vein. But I think most people say calcium, multi, iron, and B. Some people take B for the extra energy. So.
And we don't have to worry about the hair loss thing.
Right.
But, a lot of women I know deal with that. I'm sure there's some men, and biotin is what seems to be what everybody recommends. I don't know if it actually helps or not. So anyway, right after this, I have to make my Back to Basics video, and this month we're doing Silly September, so we're doing fun videos. If you haven't watched them yet, go watch the other ones. This week we're doing You Might Be a Weight Loss Surgery Patient If, kind of the take on the Jeff Foxworthy. So mine will come out tomorrow morning, and then this is our last show until October 9th-ish.
Yeah, that would be October. Wait, let me think about that. Yeah, October 9th here will be October 10th in Australia, and that's the day of the WS.
Yeah.
Wait.
And that'll be my birthday.
WSDU.
I expect lots of gifts.
That's right. You send them to Tanya's house, and then.
That's right, and then
she'll keep them there.
Be good to go.
There you go.
Take us out, Phil.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That was a different show, and we'll be back in October. And I'll be older then. I'll be a year older. You'll be a year older too when I actually technically broadcast. So we'll both be a year older. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Talk to you guys on Tuesday with my updates, and we'll go from there. And until then, it's good to be the king.